The first battle of Geonosis is absolutely chock full of fan favorite ships. From the Acclimators to the dozens of Republic gunships, from the OG-9s to the Lucrehulk class battleships, and of course, everybody's favorite, the Republic dropship with ATTE. This short assault scene from Attack of the Clones has given a lot of people a lot of their favorite vehicles, and it shows in the kinds of products that people are wanting. Most LEGO Republic gunships are considered legendary. There is a near-endless supply of MOCs of the ATTE Walker. And of course, 95% of people who have ever enjoyed LEGO Star Wars want a new Republic dropship. Truly, any vehicle that can be found on this planet, especially the Republic ones, are very well liked and very sought after in LEGO form. Except, strangely, for the self-propelled heavy artillery. Despite the fact that it is an absolutely massive clone vehicle, the SPHA-T is just not talked about by LEGO fans at all. So, what gives? Why has this been nearly completely ignored by the LEGO community? Why does nobody really talk about it or seem to want one? I will have an answer for you by the end of the video, but that first requires us to go through what the answers are not. Your first intuition may be that it's just because the SPHA-T is rather obscure. It didn't get much screen time after all. But then you have to remember, we are dealing with Star Wars fans here. I mean, look at the ATOT, for example. The only screen time that this gets in the entire saga is for about 8 seconds in Revenge of the Sith when it's behind a bunch of bushes. Yet somehow, everybody seems to know and love it. LEGO Star Wars fans love their obscure vehicles, especially when those vehicles come with a lot of clones. And boy, let me tell ya, an SPHA-T would come with a lot of clones. To show you what I mean, here is a semi-crappy 3D render of a Republic LAAT gunship that I made a while ago. And here is a semi-crappy 3D render that I made of an AT-AT Walker a while ago. These are in scale with each other. And then, just for good measure, here is a semi-crappy render of a clone turbo tank that I made a while ago. And now, remember, these are all in scale with each other. Here is a normal crappy render of an SPHA-T that I made just yesterday for filming this video. Yeah, if you weren't aware already, these things are absolutely gigantic. If this were to be translated into an official LEGO set, it would easily come in at the $170, $180 mark, or even the $240 mark if we're lucky. And with that would come a good half dozen plus clones in the set. And whether you like getting lots of LEGO clones or dislike all of the LEGO clones, you certainly cannot deny that a set like this would sell very well. I can guarantee you that LEGO Clone Wars fans would love this. Yet, none of them talk about it. And then there's a whole nother layer of weirdness added to this whole thing when you think about the point of view of LEGO as a company. It's not like LEGO always waits to hear what the fans want before they make stuff. Yes, they do this, but every once in a while they just throw something completely out of left field that nobody was expecting and nobody was talking about. A decent chunk of this year's Summer Wave is exactly that. Surely someone at LEGO must realize that this would make them a lot of money. But there is nothing. So you've got the fans who would want to buy it, but aren't talking about it, and LEGO who would want to sell it, but aren't making it. So first off, why do the fans not talk about it? Well, remember earlier in the video when I was talking about how it's more obscure, but then debunked that argument by using the ATOT as an example? Yeah, I'm gonna debunk my debunking argument. The only reason why the ATOT ever became a fan favorite was thanks to the ATOT with Dropship set. In fact, the only time you really ever hear the ATOT even talked about is in conjunction with the dropship. And the only reason why the ATOT ever even made the cut in the first place was because there was already an ATTE set on shelves. And with the more well-known Republic dropship becoming a white whale for a lot of people, it only made sense that the ATOT would follow suit, since most of the fandom has only ever known them as a package deal. The ATOT got lucky. It's a fluke. The SPHA-T never got to have its own fluke. So without the nostalgia and memories of either owning it or seeking after it as a child, it really isn't remembered by the fandom. Unfortunate for sure, but that's just how it ended up. Well then, if that answers that question, then what about the LEGO side of things? And by that I of course mean LEGO as a business. Wouldn't they want to capitalize off of this as much as they could? One point that could be made regarding this is the fact of structural stability. The legs on this thing, while there are 12 of them, are still rather small for the size of the body. However, LEGO does find ways to work around structural issues when they really want to. And might I add, they have been known to use clear plastic bricks one or two times in their past. I think that the self-propelled heavy artillery turbolaser is low enough to the ground that they could easily get away with the clear plastic bricks solution. No, I think that the real problem here is an oversaturation of Star Wars content. I've already made a full video about this on the channel. I'll make sure to put it on the end screen if you want a more in-depth discussion of this issue at large. But I feel like it's sufficient to say that there are a lot of things that LEGO rightfully is going to prioritize over the self-propelled heavy artillery turbolaser. It feels like by the time LEGO is finished cycling through all of the many Star Wars vehicles that needed a remake, the ones at the front of the line are already due for another remake. There's just so much content and so much ground to cover as the LEGO group that you can only really do things that are just so iconic they will never fall out of demand. And when you do something that's pretty niche, it has to be pertinent to whatever show is coming out that year, or in some cases, that month. Because while the feet of the SPHA-T may be numerous, the yearly slots for LEGO Star Wars sets are not. So, unless this behemoth of a tank gets to have the spotlight in some new Star Wars content, or if all of a sudden everybody just wants an SPHA-T more than anything else in the world, this is probably going to remain a distant dream. But let me know in the comments if you would like an SPHA-T, and if you do, then make sure you like this video and share it so that I can get out to more people, and more people can start talking about it, and then maybe it will exist one day. Either way, thanks for making it to the end of the video, and feel free to check out some end screen content now.